The forest was dark, not the kind of darkness that felt empty, but the kind that watched. Every branch creaked with memory. Every breeze whispered names not meant to be heard. And through that forest, two silhouettes ran. One left a trail of golden pulses with each step. The other was nearly silent, steady, heavy, like a heartbeat wrapped in steel. Kiki ran faster, tears sparkling behind her like stardust. Her soft pink glow pulsed erratically, reacting to the panic rising in her chest. Behind them, the sound of mechanical whirs cut through the trees. Masked shadows moved in pursuit, uniform and relentless. Sprunkus without names, only purpose, agents of the Symmetry Order. "Why are they chasing us? We didn't do anything wrong," Kiki gasped, nearly stumbling over a root. "You shine," Bouba said quietly, grabbing her hand to steady her. "That's enough." His voice was low, barely audible, but it anchored her. He was always like that, grounded, quiet, yet stronger than the noise. They didn't stop running until the forest opened up into a clearing, moonlight breaking through and casting long silver streaks across the wet grass. The moment their feet hit open ground, Kiki collapsed to her knees, panting. "They're still close," she said, trembling. Bouba nodded once. He turned, facing the dark trees behind them, and raised his arms slightly. His chest vibrated with low, deep rhythm. Doom, doom, doom. Sound waves rippled outward in concentric circles, scanning the forest. No response. For now they were alone. Kiki lowered her head. Her soft curls stuck to her cheeks, damp with tears. "I'm tired of running, Bouba." He knelt beside her. No words, just a hand on her shoulder. They had been running for so long. Kiki and Bouba weren't born in freedom. They came from a facility known only to the outside world as Harmony 9, a secret lab beneath the polished streets of the Sprunky metropolis. There, Sprunkus deemed emotionally volatile were kept under observation. Those who laughed too loud, cried too deeply, glowed too bright, or resonated offbeat. Kiki, from the moment she hummed her first melody, emitted radiant light when overcome by emotion. Joy made her shimmer like a sunrise. Sorrow wrapped her in violet haze. But they didn't see beauty. They saw instability. Bouba didn't speak for years, but when he finally did, it wasn't with words. It was with bass. When he stomped his foot in defiance at a guard during a training drill, the vibration cracked the simulation chamber. They called him dangerous, a weapon. He wasn't. He just felt deeply, silently. They met in Cell 8. Kiki used to draw stars on the glass wall between them with her fingertip condensation. Bouba used to tap back in rhythm. A melody formed over months, sound and light, bouncing between two misunderstood souls. Their connection was never about speech. It was survival. And the day the Order tried to reset their memories, to wipe them clean and reprogram their energetic signatures, Bouba ripped the panel off the wall with his bare hands and took Kiki's hand in his. They ran then too. Just like now. Bouba stared at her now in the clearing, her glow faint and flickering. "They'll catch us," she whispered. "I'm the reason they find us every time. They can trace me, my light, my pulse." "We hide again," he said, his voice steady. "But we can't hide forever." He looked down. "I know." Kiki stood slowly, arms crossed around herself. The wind picked up, ruffling her pink sleeves. "Maybe I should just let them take me. You could be free. They don't want you." "They will. Not if I'm gone." He stepped closer, gently placing a hand against her cheek. His fingers were warm, always warm, despite his dark colors. "You are not the problem, Kiki," he said softly. "You are the reminder. That's why they fear you." "Reminder of what?" "That feeling can't be tamed." Tears welled again, but this time she didn't look away. Her glow returned, faint but certain. Suddenly a high-pitched frequency pierced the air. Bouba turned sharply. From the sky, drones descended, sleek, black, triangular. The Order had caught up. Kiki's heart seized. 3 figures emerged from the tree line, symmetry hunters. Their masks were smooth, eyeless, their voices mechanical. "Kiki Alpha 07. You have resisted correction. Return or be neutralized." Kiki stepped forward, hands raised. "If I go, will you let him go?" "No," the lead hunter replied. Bouba is out of sync. He is also a threat. Bouba's chest began to hum again. A warning. The lead hunter raised a palm. If resistance is engaged, level 5 enforcement will activate. Bouba, Kiki whispered. But it was too late. The base burst from his core, slamming into the ground with a shockwave. Dirt flew. Drones spiraled. One agent tumbled backward, glitching. Kiki's light flared, brighter than before. Her fear turned to something else. Rage. She screamed, not in anger, but in pain. A blinding pulse of pink and white exploded from her skin, lighting the entire clearing like a sunrise. The hunters staggered. Then something strange happened. The light and the rhythm combined. Their powers, previously chaotic and unpredictable, began to synchronize. Kiki's glow curved with Bouba's pulse, forming a spiraling pattern of light and vibration. Together, they stood, hands linked, channeling something neither had known was possible. Harmony. The energy struck the hunters, not with force, but with memory. For a moment, their movements slowed. One hunter hesitated. Primary directive, unclear. Bouba stepped forward. "You were like us," he said, once. The mask cracked, just a little. Then a red alarm triggered from the drones above. "All units, terminate." The moment shattered. Kiki's scream caught in her throat. Bouba pulled her close. They prepared to be struck. And then, silence. The drones powered down. A second passed. 2. The hunters stood still, twitching, and dropped. Their suits sparked, deactivated. Kiki blinked, disoriented. What just happened? Bouba looked toward the tree line. From the shadows, another Sprunky emerged, his cloak rippling with moving colors.
So cute.
He nodded.
I can't
"You
keep my
unlocked
eyes
it,"
off
he
of
said. Kiki stared. Unlocked what? The old rhythm, the forgotten sync. Sound and light, emotion and form. They've tried to erase it for generations. Gone, past. The Sprunky smiled sadly, because it can't be controlled.
Be careful.
And anything you can't control is dangerous to the ones in power. Kiki stepped forward,
I can't
trembling.
accept this.
"So, we're not broken." He shook his head.
Where did the baby go?
You are
It
what
looks
they
so
hope
funny.
to suppress. You are reminded what it means to feel without filters. She turned to Bouba. He didn't say anything.
So this is where
He
it
didn't
all
have
started.
to. They had always known. They just needed to remember. The next morning, the clearing was quiet again.
I'll help you turn back to
Wreckage of the
normal.
drones
What's
lay
going
buried
on?
beneath layers of mist and fallen leaves.
no.
The hunters were gone, retrieved, erased, or something else entirely.
Thankfully, no one got hurt.
Kiki and Bouba sat on a hill
I want
just
to go
above the
back
tree
to my
line,
old form.
watching
I
the
can't
sky
live
turn
like this.
gold.
As a
For
tiny
the first
person.
time in what felt
Stay
like
away
years,
from me.
Do
no
you
one
want
was
this?
chasing them.
No.
Not yet.
How about this?
Kiki hugged
That's
her close
not
to
what
her
I
chest.
How about this
Pink
cold
glow
ice
pulsed
cream?
softly in time with her heartbeat. "Do you think they'll come again?" she asked. Bouba was silent for a moment, then said
What
yes.
should I do now?
Kiki nodded. Thought so. They sat like that for a while.
Can I borrow the
listening to
bucket
the
for a
birds,
moment?
the wind in the branches, the quiet hum of the earth waking up. Then Kiki turned to him. "I used to think I was cursed," she said.
Everyone
Bouba
be
tilted his
quiet
head.
for a
"When they
moment.
put me in that room, when they ran all those tests, I thought if I could just stop feeling so much, if I could dim the glow, maybe I'd be safe.
Finally,
Maybe I'd be
everyone's
normal."
back to normal.
Bouba looked at her. "Do you still think
That
that?"
hurts so much.
She looked down at her hands. They shimmered with light,
happening to my
warm,
body?
unafraid. "No," she said, "not anymore." He nodded once.
What's
and
going
smiled.
on?
Nothing. Good. They stood up, facing the horizon together. "What now?" Kiki asked. "We walk," Bouba said. "No more hiding. No more hiding." They didn't know where they'd go, or how long
The
this would
baby is
last.
so cute.
But for now, they had each other. They had rhythm, and they had light. From far away, the world might never know their names, but the forest would
Seems like
remember.
something's wrong.
The sky would remember. Somewhere deep in the core of Sprunkyopolis, others would start to remember too. That some beats don't fit the
What's
mold.
going on?
Some lights refuse to dim. And sometimes the ones who break the
Why is
pattern
everyone turning into
are the
children?
ones who change it forever.
My body.